Hello students, good morning everyone. Myself UJ Maishale, working as a assistant professor in ENTC department. For this semester, I am going to handling for you people computer architecture subject. Okay, so first class or today's class we will discuss basic computer structure. We were going to start this one. So what exactly this computer architecture? So first of all, what are the course outcomes of computer architecture? So first course outcome is to know how computer works. Second course outcome is what is the working principle of computer works, and what are the design and build of computer structure, and also what is the relation between software and hardware of that computers, and last one is the what are the languages which are related to computer architecture. Okay, so first we will move on to the credits for this subject. So totally it is having lectures hours is 3 per week, and it is not having any tutorial or labs, so only it is a theoretical concept. So first we will move on to the what is the aim of this computer structure. So first one is the computer terminology. So in that CPU, central processing unit, arithmetic logic unit, IC and control unit. Second one is the software and hardware. Third one is the bit and byte. Fourth one is the memory devices such as RAM, ROM, PROM. And second one is the computer technology in aircraft system. So how they are going to use it in aircraft system. So first of all, airplane computer. So what is that airplane computer? So what computer can do? So computer can detect fault, monitor aircraft performance, to help pilot to their work. Aircraft does not overstress through excessive control. Aircraft can be aircraft can be operate efficiently. So first one is the to detect fault. So you have to find the fault by using that computer only. Monitor that aircraft performance. So whatever that aircraft will be performed, you have to monitor first, and to help the pilot to do their work. Aircraft can be operated efficiently. So efficiency is a very important part of that computer. So next we'll move on to the, so this is one of the basic structure or a basic pick of this computer and CPU. So that is your monitor and CPU. So next, what is the definition of that computer? So first of all, this computer is a electronic device accept and process data by carrying out of set of store instructions in sequence by using mathematically, and logic operation is known as a program. So it is a computer is a first of all it is an electronic device. It can be collect or accept and process data by carrying out of a set of store instructions in a sequence. So in a sequence wise it will store some instructions. It will also accept and process the data by carrying out the set of store instruction in a sequence. So that may be mathematical or logical operation is known as a program. Next we'll move on to the basic functional block diagram of digital computer. So it consists of a input, output. So in between input and output, CPU or processor. So that is the central processing unit. So what are the input devices you are going to use in computer? Already you know it is the basic fundamentals of the computer. Keyboard, keypad, pointing devices, touchpad, mouse, joysticks, paddle, microphone. So these all are called as a input devices by using these computers. So these are the some pics or glamps which are related to input devices. It may be keyboard or mouse or microphone or some other any other devices which are related to input devices. Next we'll move on to the output devices which are related to computers. First one is the CRT monitor, that stands for cathode ray tube. Second one is the LCD monitor, liquid crystal display. Third one is the LED monitor, light emitting diode. Next one is the sound output, light, aircraft control surface, and printer. So all these are called as a output devices which are used by computers. These are the some glimpses or pics which are related to output devices: monitor, sound speakers, and aircrafts. Next we'll move on to the hardware part. So in every computer you are having hardware and software, so which are related to, first we'll move on to the hardware part. So first of all, hardware is the physical parts of a computer. It may be internal hardware device, include motherboards, that is the main heart of that your computers, hard drives and graphic card, RAM, etc. So external hardware devices include monitors, keyboard, mouse and printer, etc. Internal hardware called components, external hardware device called peripherals. So internally it is called as a components and external hardware device is called as a peripherals. So these are related to what? Hardware part. So these are the some pics or glimpses which are related to hardware. All of you know these all are called as a basic concept. In that it is your own motherboard. So inside this motherboard you are having got different parts. So next we'll move on to the software part. So what is that software? So every computer will require some software. So that purpose software cannot be a touch, provides the instruction to the hardware or serve as an input to the another software. It can be programs, procedures, algorithm and its documentation. So every software is required some program, there is some procedures and algorithms are available and its documentation. It is having binary number as a language, types of a software, system software and application software. So these are the some softwares which are related to system and applications. Microsoft Windows you know, Microsoft Office you know. Next we'll move on to the one of the main part, that is the CPU. It is the main heart of that computer. CPU, central processing unit or processors. It is the brain of computer, you can say, to process data. Microprocessor is a central processing unit that fits on one microchip fabricated by silicon. You are going to use a metal silicon. Small jab of high voltage current can destroy the chip. If you use the high voltage current, it will destroy that chip. So this is one of the basic architecture or basic structure of that computer. It is having an input, output, in between memory, and also you are having what? Arithmetic and central processing unit and control. You can easily understand this structure. Okay, already we studied the input and output devices and also what? Central processing unit. So next we'll discuss control unit. It is responsible for overall action of the computer to perform correct sequence and at the right time. Whole will be the responsible for what? Control unit. Determined by software, will control the timing and electronic switching throughout the computer by clock. So that is the synchronous operation. I think you might have studied in the digital techniques, synchronous and asynchronous. We control the timing and electronic switch throughout the computer by clock. In control unit, it is one of the main parts of that computers. Next we'll move on to the arithmetic logic unit. Perform mathematical and basic logical operation. You can add, you can subtract, or you can and or not, that is a logical operation. And mathematics should be what? Add and subtract and multiply and divide. And in basic logical operation you can logical operate and or not, x or x nor. It required power processor to perform variable task of division, multiplication, fixed, floating point arithmetic, employ parallel operation for high speed. So these are some simple examples of ALU. Okay, so next we'll move on to the register. So every computer will require, if you want to program your hardware and software, so you need some registers. So register is a temporary storage units within a CPU. Temporary storage units within a CPU. It is a temporary storage. Can store data or program information. Store limit amount of temporary basis. So it is the register. So next we'll move on to the buses. If you want to connect your hardware and software, you need some buses. So it will act as a medium. So as a medium for transfer the data from one part to the other part of a computer. So computer have a use large number of parallel connected wires. You require some wires or cables, so that purpose buses are required. So three types of the buses, which is in data bus, it may be address bus and control bus. So these are the main three buses which you are going to use by computers architecture. So first one is the control bus. So what purpose you are going to use that control bus? Medium for communicating. Address bus carry some information. Data bus carry actual data being processed. Okay, so next we'll move on to the, so this is the diagrammatic structure of buses. Control bus medium for communicating. Address bus carry information. Data bus carry actual data being processed. So it is having input, output, memory, control bus, data bus, central processing unit, address bus. Next we will discuss general information about bit and byte. So every computer is having what? Some bit and byte. So depends on bit and byte we will discuss. So what is a bit? A bit is a binary digit, the smallest increment of data on computer. Bits are usually assembled into a group of 8 to form a byte. Okay, so used for measuring the amount of data, that is transferred in a second between two telecommunication points. So what is that byte? So 1 byte is equal to, you can say, 8 bits. So 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. So again 1 kilobyte is equal to 1024 bytes or 2 raised to 10 bytes. 1 megabyte is equal to 2 raised to 20 bytes or 10,48,576 bytes. Same as in 1 gigabyte. Next we'll move on to the memory. So every computer will require, or you want to choose your computer specifications, you need some memory. So like your mobile phone, same as your computer also required some memory. So that is physical devices used to store information, which is instructions and data. So memory is having what? Required some data. So that data will be physical devices which is used to store information, which is instructions and data. Using binary digit can store data temporary and permanently also. So memory is having what? It may be temporary or permanently. Next we'll move on to the volatile memory. So two types of the memory, one is the volatile and another one is the non-volatile. So what is that volatile memory? Lost data when power off. So whenever you switch on whenever you switch off the power, so whatever that data is there, it will be lost. Okay, so second one is the volatile memory requires power to maintain the stored information. It requires some power to maintain that information. So next we'll move on to the non-volatile memory. Non-volatile memory is referred to as a permanent stored memory, and volatile memory is referred to as a temporary memory. Second one, non-volatile computer memory that can retain stored information when not powered. If powered is off or powered is gone, so it will retain some stored information. So that's why if you differentiate between volatile and non-volatile memory, so non-volatile memory is a permanent stored memory and volatile memory is a temporary memory. So these are the some glimpses or pics which are related to non-volatile memory, and this is the volatile memory which are related to what pics or glimpses. Okay, so next we'll move on to the permanent storage. What is that permanent storage? That comes under RAM, ROM, EPROM, EAROM, and flash memory. So first one we'll move on to the ROM, read-only memory. So what is the use of this read-only memory? First one, used to store permanent data, that is the firmware used to store permanent data. It is a permanently stored data, cannot be reprogrammed or change the data. It's also one of the important function of that ROM, read-only memory. Example, PROM for VIAS, input output system, CD-ROM. Second one, EPROM, erasable program read-only memory. In that first function, can erase by expose in strong ultraviolet light in 10 minutes, used by military. EAROM, electrically altered read-only memory, that is the combined non-volatile of ROM with electrically alterable of RAM, consider our non-volatile RAM. Next one is the flash memory. Example, hard disk and thumb drive. These are the shortly or briefly related to what? Permanent storages. Next one is the temporary storage, that is the RAM, random access memory. First point, primary memory, fast but limited capacity, takes the form of integrated circuits, that is the IC, allow data to be read quickly, used to run programs. Example, SRAM, static RAM, dynamic RAM, DDRAM, DDRR RAM, etc. These are related to what? Temporary storage. Next one is the memory application. These are the simple block which are related to memory application. When opening the operating system, power on, load BIOS set, CPU, load operating system, RAM, only critical part OS maintenance RAM, that is HD. When opening application, CPU, RAM, application conserved in RAM, that is saved in HD, and last one is HD, comes under again, come back. This is the memory application diagram. Next, microprocessor. Central processing is a part of a computer contained within a IC. Central processing is a part of a computer contained within the IC. Small, lightweight relative chip when compared to CPU. Microprocessor is a small, lightweight related to chip when compared to any CPU. Used for simple applications. Can incorporate all the elements of the total computing system, that is the input output, ROM, RAM and CPU. So this is the information regarding microprocessor. Elementary of microcomputer. Microprocessor, computer away, RAM, ROM, input output ports, output and input ports. This is the simple diagrammatic representation of elementary of microcomputer. Next, airborne digital computer applications. Sensors, magnetic card reader, magnetic push button controller, alphanumeric dedicated. This is the simple one of the diagrammatic representation which are related to airborne digital computer application. It is not required, but you should know what exactly the airborne digital computer applications. FMS, flight management system. This is one of the very important part. How you are going to use by using that computer to control that flight management system. This is one of the pic or glimpse which are related to flight management system. Next, flight management system have two FMC, flight management computer in aircraft for redundancy. Four main functions of FMS, flight management system. One is the automatic flight control. Second one is the performance management. Third one is the navigation and guidance. Fourth one is the status and warning display. So these are four called as a Main functions of FMS: first one, automatic flight control; second one, management performance, guidance and navigation, status and warning display. Second, receive input from subsystem computer: flight control computer FCC, thrust management computer TMC, digital air data computer DADC. Thank you.